Hey everyone, welcome to Manifold AI Learning. Now in this video, we will look into the 8 things that you have to perform whenever you are performing the exploratory data analysis. Now, as you know, exploratory data analysis forms a key step in data analysis, which is one of the steps that we perform before we apply the machine learning models. So let's have a look into the top 8 steps that you always have to ensure that you follow it whenever you're analyzing the data. First and foremost, you have to check and write down the assumptions of the data set. So you know already that each and every machine learning model has some or the other kind of assumptions about the data set that you're working with. To give you an example, my linear regression model expects that I've got a linear relationship between my features and the target. So likewise, each and every machine learning model has its own set of assumptions. So ensure that you are going to check your data set with those assumptions. And once you are ensuring that, okay, my data set that I've got, it follows these assumptions, then only you can take a wise decision whether to apply that model or not. Okay. And the second thing that you always have to remember is displaying the first and last few rows of the data set. So once you display the first and the last few rows of the data set, you'll get the overall idea about how many columns that you have got in the data set, what kind of values do you see in each and every column. You'll come to know how the values are treated. Now with that visual inspection, you will get an intuitive idea as what is the composition of your data set. And that is when you will move on to the third step. You are going to view and validate the data types of each and every variable. And here, the common activity that I'll do is I'm going to display the information about my data frame by calling the df.info method. So at that time, I'll display the information about my data frame in a better way. So with this, I'll be able to identify how each and every data type, that means how each and every variable is having the individual data type, and I can validate whether it is a correct one or not. Okay. Now, once you have done this analysis, it will be a time to display the statistical summary of the data set. Now, one common thing that we generally use is we are going to make use of describe function on our data frame. We will say data frame.describe, and this will help me to display the statistical summary on the numerical data. But I can use this describe function even on the categorical data as well by simply passing in the parameter include is equal to O. This is going to include the objects, and I'll be able to display the statistical summary on the categorical data set as well. Now with that, I'll be able to get to know the what is the frequency of most occurring word, that is the most occurring categorical variable, as well as the mode of that categorical column. Okay, ensure that you display the statistical summary of your entire data set, that is for both numerical as well as the categorical variable. And once you have got the overall idea, so by that time you will get the clear picture whether you have got the missing values or not. So that will be the next activity, handling the missing values. The general rule of thumb that we follow is if I have more than 20% of missing values in my data set, I'm going to perform the activity of imputation. That means I'm going to fill those missing values with the statistically correct values. If I've got the missing values which is less than 20%, then the approach that we generally follow is we are going to drop those rows with missing values. Again, it depends on the data set. It's not a thumb rule, it is just a common practice that we follow. Okay, so more than 20%, it's an imputation. Less than 20%, it's a dropping. That's the strategy that we use in order to handle the missing values with the given data set. Now, once we have handled the missing values, it's time that we deal with outliers. Here, in order to find the outliers, one easier method is to make use of box plot. The other method is making use of z-score. So assuming that my data follows the normal distribution, I can check whether I've got any data which is greater than 3 standard distribution, that is mean plus or minus 3 standard distribution. If I've got any such data using the z-score approach, I can find those outliers. And if I have those outliers, I can remove those outliers once I identify it. Or the other method that I can use is I can make use of interquartile range, and using this interquartile range, I can deal with those outliers in a better way. Now, once I have ensured that there are no outliers in the given data set, we can then go ahead and create the plot so that we can gain a clear understanding of the data set that we are working with. Creation of plot will give us a this creation of plot will give me a better understanding of the data set. It will help me to get the clear picture about the pattern that I've got with my data. Now this is followed by data standardization. Now at this point, depending on the type of data we are dealing with, we can either apply the standard scaler, min-max scaler, and any other techniques to ensure that we are bringing the data into the required scale, which is easy for us to handle. Okay, so to summarize, the top 8 things that you have to do whenever you are executing the activity of exploratory data analysis is write and check the assumptions of the data set, display the first and last few rows of the data set, view and validate the data types of the variable in the data set, display the statistical summary, handling the missing values, dealing with outliers, creation of plot, and data standardization. Now, if you think that I have missed any, please let me know in the comment section. I look forward to hearing from you. So thank you so much guys for watching till the end. If you're new to us, please consider subscribing for more updates and tips and tricks related to data science.